Muscular is a veteran A-rank villain who joined the League for the sole reason to let loose and freely kill people at his leisure, as part of the Vanguard Action Squad. This murderous, bloodthirsty psychopath absolutely loves killing and tormenting people, and children are no exception. As long as they bleed, he has no qualms when it comes to harming others. He will half-ass the mission to relieve his itch to hurt and kill, like nonchalantly giving up their objective to a hero student and quickly glossing over his interrogation to get to the meat of the matter, the fight. It's not that he is of low intelligence, he simply is free to indulge in his wish for carnage without worry of consequence, since with a quirk as powerful as his, he rarely gets punished for following his instincts and wants. Interestingly enough, as Muscular was wandering aimlessly around during the attack on the training camp, he had a fateful encounter with a kid of the pro-hero team, Waterhose, who took his left eye and sacrificed themselves to protect the village he attacked. Muscular is not one to dwell on the bitterness of his losses and shift blame and point fingers at other people for his misfortunes, especially on someone who was following their own values and ambitions. He takes ownership of his actions and the repercussions of his belligerent behavior. Muscular simply wanted to kill people, and Waterhose was urged to stop him, a struggle between the will to kill and the intent to protect. The hero's valiant effort of taking his eye is something he says they earned, because they had the strength to when they were fighting at their best. But their best wasn't enough, and that's what got them killed. Their death is on their hands, not his. This is merely the result of heroes failing to accomplish what they set out to do. Muscular stresses that we all have goals and ambitions, but the only thing that matters are your actions, no half measures. If you're going to do it, then do it. Otherwise, your words become empty or failed promises. And what good is someone who talks about doing things if they fall short to fulfill promises they set from the beginning? These beliefs of Muscular are the instrumental forces that drive his malicious actions. Because of his capabilities and the outcomes he expects as a result of his efforts, he's convinced himself that he's always in the right in indulging his bloodlust. Muscular serves as the first major villain Izuku had to handle on his own, being one of the upper echelons of villains that are able to easily contend with and overwhelm him in a physical clash with the muscle augmentation quirk, overtaking Izuku at blurring speeds that far outclass his full cal at 5%, and shrugging off his 100% Detroit smash with only sustaining minimal injury, regarding Izuku as giving him the most entertaining fight of his life. Meanwhile, unlike Izuku's previous dealings with villains, all of the advantages he had during those encounters are absent in this stage. There are no teammates to call, there are no reinforcements, there's no relaying his location, and no one is coming to help. Any attempt of escaping will be a futile effort. Trying to buy time with this violent sadist who's delighting this fight isn't exactly panning out. There's barely time to strategize, let alone breathe, as he's being outpaced and toyed with. But he has a kid to look after. The most important matter is Kota's safety. Izuku essentially made the decision to momentarily stall Muscular for a brief period to enable Kota to escape. Muscular ruined Kota's life. His parents dying at the hands of a villain was the cause of Kota's distorted views on superhuman society. He deemed it nonsensical on how society could say what his parents did was the right thing to do. How is putting your life at risk for your heroic duties considered noble or even a good thing when you have a child to raise? While the world around him honored Waterhose and kept turning afterwards, Kota was the one left with the consequences of their sacrifices, because he was the only one as more than just heroes, but family. If not for the existence of quirks, then the occupation of heroes would never have come to be, and therefore his parents would not have died in the line of duty and left him on his own. His rejection of heroes swayed as he continually expressed disbelief toward the amount of hardship Izuku was willing to take to protect someone he didn't know. Kota then reconciles with his feeling of resentment toward his parents, and their decision to give their lives for others over continuing to live on with their child, since what they did parallels what Izuku is risking to do for him right now. Muscular's wrong. His parents weren't weak or pathetic. Just because they couldn't defeat him doesn't mean that his parents' efforts of halting Muscular was a senseless sacrifice. Many lives were saved that day. As Izuku was in the face of imminent death, he sensed Kota's efforts of trying to stop Muscular, prompting him to persevere. Because if he dies, then Kota will die as well, which left a desperate, critically wounded Deku that's tired of Muscular's sight of right and wrong, with little to no options but to push himself far beyond his limits, to go beyond. This confrontation further demonstrates why Izuku is worthy of One for All, and sets one of the many turning points on his path of becoming the next symbol of peace. Even at the verge of death, he remained resolute under insurmountable odds to protect someone else, and without a second thought. With his life at stake, he only had others in mind. He prevailed over a force that took everything from Kota, changed the young boy's cynical mindset for the better, and became Alright guys, what are your thoughts on Muscular?